Thank you for staying tuned. We now return to news in Nigeria, in Gwoza, in Borno State, where two more victims of the bomb attacks in Gwoza, Borno State, died while receiving treatment at the state specialist hospital in Maiduguri. The acting governor, Alhaji Umar Kadafur, shared this during a hospital visit on Sunday. Governor Babagana Zulum is currently in Pakistan on a business trip. Out of the 42 injured victims, 16 have been discharged and 24 remain hospitalized. The state government has covered the medical bills and is ensuring proper care. Kadafur emphasized the need to continue fighting insurgency and urged residents to stay vigilant and report suspicious activities. He was accompanied by Senate Chief Whip Senator Ali Ndume, Ahmadu Jaha, and other officials. And to unpack this, I am joined by a security expert, Inko-Tariah Ipalibo. Good afternoon. Glad to have you join me.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me.
All right. The pleasure is all mine. I mean, Borno State has been at the center of insurgency for 15 years now. We have a record number of 2 million people displaced in Borno State, and also 40 people have died as a result of this. What do you make of this recent incident in Borno State?
Well, the recent suicide attack is an indication that Boko Haram has not been decimated as opined by the government. And the tactics being deployed now shows that there is an extreme radicalism that is taking place within the northeastern region, particularly among women. From the intelligence that has been gathered, several women were trained for this purpose, and they've just deployed a few of them.
Now, talking about the use of female suicide bomber, what makes it so easy to use women, which you rightly reference, when it comes to suicide bombing activities?
Well, they work on their emotions. When they are being recruited, it is easy to recruit and radicalize female women into suicide bombing. The script being played out by the terrorists is not new. They know that women are vulnerable. They know they are extremely emotional. And so it's easy to work on their psyches, easy to work on them and get them to become victims of the terrorism themselves.
But then looking at the history of insurgency in Borno State for the past 15 years, like I mentioned earlier on, would you say this event, this attack, is one the security officers saw coming, or it's caught them unaware?
It cannot catch any security agency or expert unawares, because suicide bombing is part of the tactics being deployed by terrorists. So if you are fighting terrorism, you must fight it from all fronts. You do not just focus on one aspect and assume that other tactics will not be deployed. Suicide bombing has been known to be one of the tactics being deployed by terrorists. So it's not something that came unawares. This is not even the first time. We've had in Nigeria, there are more than 25 cases of suicide bombings, you know. So it's not the first time they are using this tactic.
I mean, the presence of IDP camps, internally displaced persons, which they now refer to as super camps in Borno State, has been fingered as a breeding ground for terrorists, you know, for Boko Haram elements. How true or false is this?
Well, before that information came out, most people have been observing, and then the information, as a matter of fact, it's a product of intelligence. So it's true that the super camps are being a breeding ground, because the security network available in those IDPs is not even sufficient to even prevent the IDP from being a soft target. Neither is it sufficient in preventing women and children from being recruited into Boko Haram terrorist group. So it is true that the super camps are breeding ground for this recruitment.
So what would be a lasting solution? How can we prevent the recurrence of attacks, suicide bombings in Borno State going forward?
Going forward, the Nigerian state should take the de-radicalization program very serious, because until the extremist group are identified and de-radicalized, you will keep having cells and pockets of regroupings and attacks like this. So the campaign for de-radicalization should go beyond being political. It should actually be implemented, and it should be implemented in a way that could be monitored, that the progress being made could be monitored, so that at the end of the day, if you de-radicalize this set of people, they would, in fact, as a matter of fact, be your frontline security, in fighting terrorism. So, but if de-radicalization is just on the on the surface, and it's not being taken seriously, or it's not being implemented seriously, we'll keep having these things reoccurring.
We do hope things are nipped in the bud as soon as possible, but thank you so much for sharing your insight on the news. Inko-Tariah Ipalibo, a security expert, many thanks for your time.
Thank you for having me.